Hi, we will be doing our human development project. Ryan, Bashini, Hari, and Gabriel are the group members that are involved in this assignment. Now for the roles, we'll be covering the cognitive side, the physical side, the social side, the emotional side, and our experiences. We will be covering on early childhood development. In a child's development, there are 4 aspects, which are the physical aspect, the social aspect, the emotional aspect, and the cognitive aspect. Let's talk about the physical development of the child. There are 2 main and important physical developments of a child, which are the skeletal growth and the brain development of the child. The brain. There's 2 parts of the brain, which is the left brain and the right brain. The right brain is in charge for creativity, while the left brain is in charge of making analytical decisions. The left hemisphere controls the right-handedness of the person. 90% of people have that. Both hemispheres, on the other hand, when they work together, they control the left-handed people, which is only 10% of the population. The brain is influenced by the nature and nurture. Nutrition is a crucial part in a child's physical development. Infectious disease and relief. Poor diet will lead to malnutrition and diarrhea. Well, the relief methods are immunization, oral rehydration therapy, and zinc supplements.
Hello, my name is Bashini and I will be covering the social development part of the early childhood phase. Jean Piaget brought about the cognitive theory, basically the second part of the pre-operational stage for children ages 2 to 7. Children of this stage begin to understand actions and learn to use words to represent objects. However, children at this stage tend to be egocentric and have a hard time observing things from other people's perspectives. It's in this stage still which children still think concretely about certain terms, despite the fact of improvement in language and critical thinking skills. Children will typically pay attention to symbolic meaning rather than the actual facts. This is Lev Vygotsky who brought about the social cultural theory. Language to him is an important tool in learning and teaching. People need to interact in order to transmit knowledge. The stage where children develop their ability to use language is the stage where they begin to absorb more understanding of social situations and enhance their thinking skills. The first part of Lev Vygotsky's theory is the pre-intellectual speech for toddlers. Next is the autonomous speech where toddlers use made-up words, for example, ba for bottle. The naive psychology is the third part, where children use basic words to communicate by understanding names and using that skill to identify objects. The final part of his theory is the communicative and egocentric speech, which is used when the child is interacting with others to inform them about what they want. Egocentric speech, on the other hand, is when the child talks to themselves in their minds before or as they're performing a task. Both of these theories have one similar problem. They are too generalized. These theories do not take into account children of different backgrounds. Some children can either be too slow or fast learners. This might cause the parents to believe that their child has a learning disability based on the theories presented. The good about letting your children learn from gadgets is that some TV shows are really educational. It teaches the child life processes. Cartoons also offer a soothing and pain-killing effect. Other than that, games, by lore, teach children many aspects of life. The bad thing about letting your kids learn from gadgets is that they might be exposed to negative influences over social media. Other than that, solely viewing without applying what they learn isn't really a good way to enhance your speaking skills. Lastly, they might neglect physical activities to concentrate on being on their gadgets. Young children learn about their gender through mother-child conversations. Due to this, some parents may force their beliefs of gender on their kids. This prevents the child from exploring what he likes and dislikes. Other than that, parents should also inform their child about equality between those genders.
Development and social development are two strongly linked topics. In early childhood, the first and second stages of Piaget's theory of cognitive development are relevant. The first stage of this theory is the sensory motor stage. During this stage, children learn about the world and their surroundings through movement and sensation. Basic actions like sucking, grasping, and listening are performed to help the child develop a feel of the world around them. In this stage, children also learn about object permanence and that their actions have consequences on the objects around them. The next stage in this theory is the pre-operational stage. In this stage, children learn to think symbolically and can use words and pictures to represent objects. During this stage, children will have an egocentric or self-centered mindset. It will be hard for them to view things from others' perspectives. Language and thought in the children will also begin to develop and improve. However, their thinking is still stubborn and they are usually set on one thing. Children are also able to focus their attention on things for extended periods of time. This is due to the fact that they have developed a larger overall capacity to process information. This is a crucial time in the child's life as it is useful for them to learn these skills, which will help them in the future in school, work, and other places. Children are also able to make connections between old and new information. An example of this is when a child forms words through sound, writing, or reading. They connect the alphabet, which is the old information, and the words, which is the new information, together. These are the stages in Piaget's theory of cognitive development that are relevant to our group's research.
Hello guys, today I'm gonna talk about the emotional aspect in early childhood development. Okay, what is early childhood? Early childhood is defined as the period from birth to 8 years old, where the time of remarkable growth with brain development at its peak. During this stage, children are highly influenced by the environment and the people that surround them. So the emotions and social experiences in early childhood. Throughout the toddler's years, temper tantrums are quite common. There is a good reason why people often refer to this stage as the terrible twos. Toddlers tend to have rapid mood swings while their emotions can be very intense. These feelings also tend to be quite short-lived. You might be stunned at how your child can go from screaming hysterically about a toy he wants at one moment to sitting in front of the television quietly watching his favorite show just a moment later. Children at this stage can be very possessive and difficulty in sharing. Learning to get along with other children is an essential skill. However, in just a few short years, your child will go from spending most of his time with his family and close friends to spending time in large chunks of his day interacting, learning, and playing with other kids at school. In fact, researchers have found emotional development and social skills that are essential for school readiness. Example of such abilities including paying attention to adult figures, transitioning easily from one activity to next, and cooperating with other kids. Next up would be the how to help kids in developing social and emotional skills. So, social competence not only involves the ability to cooperate with peers, it also includes such things as ability to show empathy, express feelings, and share generously. Fortunately, there are plenty of things that you can do to help your kids develop these all-important social and emotional skills. Modeling appropriate behaviors is very essential. Observation plays a vital role in how young children learn new things. If your child sees you sharing, expressing gratitude and being helpful, and also sharing feelings, your child will have a solid understanding of how to interact with other people outside the home. Most importantly, be sure to offer them a praise when your children demonstrate good social behaviors. Reinforcement not only makes your young children feel good about themselves, it also helps them understand why certain behaviors are desirable and worthy of praise. Helping your children feel good about themselves also plays an important role in developing a sense of empathy and emotional competence. Next, teaching the empathy of cooperation. Parents can also boost empathy by building emotional intelligence by encouraging their children to think about how other people feel. Start by inquiring your children's own feelings, asking questions about events of your child's life. For example, how did you feel about your lost toy? How did that story make you feel? But once the children become skilled at expressing their own emotional reactions, begin asking questions about how other people may feel. How do you think Nadia felt when you took away the toy she was playing with? For example, by posing such questions, children can begin to think about their own actions, which might impact their emotions of people around them. Last but not least, cooperation is one skill that benefits tremendously from direct experience from the kids. Giving your child the opportunity to interact and play with other kids is one of the best ways to teach your child how to relate to others. While your toddler may find playing with other kids at his age frustrating at times, since kids often lack patience and the ability to share, things will gradually begin to improve with age and experience. As children play and interact, they also begin to develop social problem-solving skills. Early attempts might involve plenty of arguments and conflicts with siblings with peers, but eventually kids will learn how to negotiate and compromise with the other children. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. I'm here to do the reflection for my group's presentation. So our group managed to successfully carry out our observation at the kindergarten called Liederlang. For our first visit, we were intrigued by the fact that the coaches over there were really nice with the students. You see, back in our time, or to say my time, we didn't have kindergarten teachers as nice as the ones we saw. For instance, back in my day, whenever a student were to do something wrong, the teacher would simply punish the student or scold the student harshly. This is in fact a wrong way to treat a child. You see, the kindergarten coaches in Liederland, they treat the students very much differently than my time. For instance, instead of beating or scolding the students harshly, what they would do is, they would take the students to one corner and they would tell the students what they did wrong. And then they would tell the students the right thing to do. This not only enforces the child's self-esteem, but we also notice that it brings the child to a more comfortable situation. It allows the child to rethink what he or she has done wrong. And then the child can make the right decision henceforth. During our visit to the kindergarten, we were also able to notice the incorporation of a psychological theory, namely to speak, Bandura's social learning theory. You see, there was this time at the kindergarten when there was an event whereby the children had to be blindfolded. So there were blindfolds distributed to the children. Some of them, however, were unable to blindfold themselves and required assistance from others. This was where my team came in to help them. This is where Bandura's social learning theory came into play. Bandura's social learning theory states that behaviors can be learned through observation and modeling. By observing the actions of others, including parents and peers, children can develop new skills and acquire new information. This was exactly what we noticed when we visited the kindergarten for observation. During the blindfolding session, a child came up to me and asked for assistance. So I sat down and gave the child the assistance she needed. In doing so, I noticed that her friends modeled after my actions did the same for the rest of them who were also unable to be blindfolded. At the end of the day, everyone was able to be blindfolded. So that was Albert Bandura's social learning theory at play. The other thing that we noticed as a group was the way the coaches incorporated music into the children's education. During my time, we only had the standardized teaching methods such as exercises and quizzes. However, in this kindergarten, they incorporated music into such fashion that the children were so intrigued into their education and they totally enjoyed the sessions with the coaches. Now that is not something easy to be achieved by coaches of today's standards. So why do I say that? Well, for starters, you must understand that music alone doesn't mean that the coaches get to attract the attentions of the students into their sessions. It is through a lot of persistence, patience, and passion that allows the coaches to grab and grasp the attention of the students. And not only that, but the children's interest and love for what they are learning. And this is very essential for today's learning standards. Not only that, but the children learn to trust their coaches more and more each day because of the bond, this unique bond that they have between each other. So it's clear now that psychology does have quite the impact on early childhood education in the 21st century. Well, I hope this video has been informational for you. That is all my group has to offer for our research and observation.
In this group project, I did the general overview of the topic. To do this, I researched and provided information on Erikson's social development theory. I briefly described and provided examples of each of the stages mentioned in Erik Erikson's theory that was relevant to our research. We observed children of ages 3 to 6, so 2 stages were prevalent during our observation. These stages were the anatomy versus shame stage and initiative versus guilt stage. During this group activity, I felt like I learned many new things. One of these things is that I learned to improve my teamwork. Communicating between team members was key to producing a good research paper, and so we decided to make a group chat to keep track of each individual's progress. If one group member wasn't able to attend a visit to the kindergarten, the others would help gather the necessary information. I also felt that I wasn't excluded from the group as my group members provided sufficient help when I needed it. Researching this topic was interesting as I learned many new things about the stages of development in a human. I also learned many things about the interactions between children and their tendencies to perform certain things at certain stages. Overall, this project has helped me improve bonds with my peers and has taught me more about teamwork within a group. This will help me in the future as I will be able to work better in groups and provide better help when others need it. It may also help me in the future if I decide to pursue a path that involves the development of children, say a child psychologist. This project has also helped me improve my communication skills and will be helpful in the future when I need to get my point across to multiple people. I would be glad to do another project like this someday. Thank you.
Okay, so this is my reflection for the group assignment that I did with my friends. What are my thoughts about this? Well, I did learn a lot with my teammates, got to bond with them. We spent quite a lot of time together doing our research. We spent time discussing what we're going to write, what we're going to do, what we're going to ask. It was quite the experience. Overall, I would say that researching these children has certainly opened up my mind and my perspective on the younger generation of today. You see, the younger generation of today, they are the most important ones. You know why? Because if they are brought up the right way, through the right nurturing and through psychology, they can grow up to be future leaders, even better than the ones of today. So my final thoughts would be this. If I were to end up being a psychologist in the future, I would probably emphasize the children's needs. I would probably help them if I could in any way that I could possibly do, so much as to give them a good push towards a brighter future. That would be my goal someday in the future, if I were to be a psychologist. That's all I have to say for my reflection.
Hi, my name is Vashni, and for this project, I was in charge of completing the social development part of the topic we chose, which was in the early childhood phase. So what I did was make slides using this editing app for my part of the video. I also added in voice recordings to certain slides. Despite having a good team, personally I wish I hadn't procrastinated. Thankfully, I managed to complete my part in time. I do wish we started working on this assignment earlier, as well as organizing more face-to-face meetings. However, since everyone was competent enough to finish their respective jobs on time, the face-to-face meeting was not really necessary. I had no problems with any parts of the paper because I understood the topic thoroughly. My friend, Sarah, she even helped me with the app because I didn't know which app to choose at first, but she guided me on which app it was to use. Yeah, I was grateful for that. The experience we had was by observation of the students in Leaderland Kindergarten during our field trip. We noticed how obedient the students were and how they interacted with their coaches and their peers. Compared to the way kids would act back in my days, these kids were friendly with each other and most of them were really sociable. This experience and observation helped me in my part of the social development portion of the video. Now that I've understood what this topic is about, when I have kids sometime in the future, then maybe I would have a better understanding of what they possibly go through and how I should be communicating with them as a response to the situation. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here to talk about my personal reflection on the trip to the kindergarten. Overall, I find the trip very fascinating and knowledgeable. I would really like to thank Dr. Wong for creating such opportunity that enables us to gain such knowledge which might help us for future and as well as our human development subject. As for my experience, I find the trip very enjoyable. The type of education system given there are completely new to me. Back in olden days, where the education system are just merely books, but the current system uses computers, slideshows, teachers who are educated, giving them good teachings. And due to that, children will grow even smarter and have a potential of becoming leaders in future. But comparing to the olden days where students are very passive, we don't have much resources, facilities to enable us to learn advanced subjects. But the current system enables them to learn advanced education with such ease. So I find that very interesting, which also I felt happy because our country will have more leaders in future. Besides that, I find the facilities are very advanced compared to the olden days. They have computers, they have personal tracking device which enables them to track their students' achievement, their capability of what they can do. But in olden days, we don't have such things to actually cope with that. So I find the current education system is very suitable for the current students because it may give us the opportunity to grow more leaders in future and have a better country with better people in there. And the trip, of course, in personal opinion, I find it very knowledgeable where I get to learn a lot of stuff thanks to Dr. Wong. And that's what my personal reflection is. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Ryan and this is my reflection. For this assignment, I've been chosen to be the leader of the group. So being a leader, it definitely comes with a lot of responsibilities. I had to plan out and coordinate meetings with all of the group members because our timetables are different, segregate the roles for each of them, and explain to them their roles thoroughly so that this whole process of this project would go as smoothly as possible. When I did not know how to carry out a certain task, I would usually ask my team members or my other classmates. So Ryan, Bashini, Hari and Gabriel were all amazing team members. They were all very cooperative and responsible, and I'm really thankful that I had them as team members, and they helped me to support this assignment. I plan to major on child psychology or educational psychology in the future. So by carrying out this assignment, I was able to learn not only the basics of child development, but also in depth and researching about early childhood development and how to handle the kids. Being given the opportunity to go to the kindergarten for this research has definitely given me a head start in understanding children. I would finally like to thank Dr. Wong, of course, for giving not only myself but also my team members. We were able to carry out this assignment. So throughout this assignment, not only my team members and I have been able to learn something new, but also we were able to strengthen our bond as friends. So yeah, that's my reflection. That's 2 minutes. See you tomorrow.